We're glad that you could join us to watch our new podcast series, Spotlight on Senior Living. We worked really, really hard to put together an awesome list of guests, and we hope that you like them. Thanks for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe to our channel. Okay, let's go.
Hi, Ronnie.
Hi, Jody. Nice to see you again.
You too. Nice to see you. And with us today, we have Janice Brown. Janice is currently a career and a life coach, but she's had a very varied and very extensive background in sales. When we met Jan a while ago, she was the director of sales and marketing for a company called Shalom in Minnesota. So, Jan, why don't you just bring us up to date and tell us what you're doing now?
Sure, thank you. I'm just delighted to be here. So I am a career and life coach, and I really specialize on working with people that are in the middle of transitions, whether that be life or business.
That's great. Great.
Yeah, that
Sounds interesting.
I can't wait to dig into this.
Yes, I know.
More,
and a lot of people are at that place in life. So that's a very worthwhile thing that you're doing.
And we don't have any of our podcast speakers. We don't have a life coach or a career coach.
No.
So you get to really educate us, let us know kind of what it is and how it works and what you like about it and all of that. So I wonder, I think if we just start with, why don't you tell us your story, your personal story about how you got where you are?
Thanks for asking, Ronnie. So I've lived most of my life in Minnesota, but I'm an East Coaster through and through. My dad, early in his sales career, was transferred from Pennsylvania to Minnesota. And my brothers and sister and I grew up with incredible family values, which is, well, first of all, family, but also faith and health and really giving back to the community. So that really was instilled in me personally and professionally. As you mentioned, I had a remarkable career in sales, event marketing, and marketing. And I was in industries such as senior living, hospitality, event marketing, education, and agriculture. And because of my varied background, I was able to travel the world, which really, I had so many wonderful adventures working in my career and having fun too. But really, what it opened up my eyes was to meeting people from all walks of life and really meeting them where they're at. And that's where I started develop my leadership style, is really meeting people where they're at. And I use that today through coaching.
So did you always know this is what you wanted to do?
No, actually, sales was not on my radar when I was little. My grandfather told me that I was going to be an elementary school teacher. My mom and dad said, "You're going to be an elementary school teacher." And I probably was in 5th grade, and I said, this makes sense to me. I love babysitting, and I love to play school. So my mom and dad would clear out the garage. I had a chalkboard. All of my students were in those wooden metal desks from many years ago. And it was which was all the neighborhood kids, right? All my friends and my brothers and my sister. And I was Miss Brown. And we loved it. We absolutely loved it. So I went to a teacher's college, following in the footsteps of my brother, my sister, and my sister-in-law. And after the first year, although I love kids, I just really wanted something different. So, and of course I had the influence of sales from mom and dad. So I thought, why don't I pursue a degree in sales instead of elementary education? Of course, my grandfather probably would have, been appalled, but my parents were very, very supportive. And I just, I really flourished in my sales career because I am incredible at building relationships. And many, many leaders and colleagues have said, I think that's your superpower, building relationships.
And they're right. I mean, we both have worked with you. And actually we worked with you at a time in an area where I wasn't sure who was coming into this position was going to be able to build relationships in that current environment. It was a very challenging environment, and it was fascinating to watch how you went from one person to another person to another person, and you just started building those relationships. So in thinking about that, how would you describe your leadership style? What did you do to get everybody there where you needed them to be?
Yeah, thank you. I think the foundation of my leadership style is really my value system. And so it's everything from integrity to respect, mutual respect, accountability, trust. Trust is big. And it is really, communicating and listening to others and asking their opinion and letting them lead as well. So, and that's how we were able to get results. It's just, really working together and collaborating and letting others lead and shine.
How does that style help you with the career coaching and life coaching that you do today?
Yeah, I think it helps me because I am present and listening to my clients' challenges, pain points, disappointments, and they lead the conversation. I just have some tools and it's and of course expertise, and I have a coaching certification as well. I also have an incredible group of a coaching community, which we support each other. So yeah, I think it's just really listening and not telling. I'm not a coach that tells.
Mm,
I listen with
mm,
empathy and patience and compassion.
mm,
So one of the challenges that I faced, um, not just in my career, but in my lifetime, according to my daughter, is I don't like to be vulnerable. I have a problem with being vulnerable with
mhm.
people. And she keeps saying, you need to be vulnerable. You need to be. So can you talk a little bit about that? Is there a time that you felt vulnerable?
Yes, it was the first time I was ever laid off in my 30-year career due to an acquisition. I was devastated. I was disappointed. I was lost. So a very, very dear friend of mine and my husband's, she's an executive coach, recommended this book by William Bridges. It's called Transitions. And he describes three phases: endings, neutral state, beginnings. And it's any kind of transition, right? So, and I'm working with that with my clients every day. It's whether you got a new promotion, you were promoted, or you moved to a new city, just had a baby. So not just a job loss. And it's an incredible, it's an old read, but it's incredible. And in my Janice AM way, I tried to launch right into beginnings, like, figure out what I'm going to do. And Allison, the friend and executive coach, said, you've got to go through the endings and you've got to go through the neutral state to get to the beginnings. This is an ending, and you feel like you've never had this experience in your career. It's like it's grieving, right? The loss of a great,
Mhm.
great
Yeah,
career.
You're
So
right.
yeah, she provided a worksheet to me, and with her coaching and friendship, I moved into beginnings, and there was a silver lining from being laid off, and that is I discovered or rediscovered that I love to coach and mentor people. I've been doing it personally and professionally my entire career and life. And I decided to earn my coaching certification. And by a lot of encouragement by my coaches and friends and former clients, they encouraged me to open my own practice.
Good. That's wonderful.
what do you love about it?
Um, but I love working with people and hearing their stories and not telling my story like, as I am today, but I love hearing their stories um, and together how we're working to come up with what works for them, how they want to move in what direction. And many times they don't know, they're lost, and so we have to dive a little deeper and determine what is it for each coaching session they want to accomplish in that session. So having be present, and because I'm from the East Coast, I talk fast. I present, but slowing down and listening to them and really understanding in that session, what do they want to accomplish, and not assume that what we did last session is what we're going to do this session. So it's just being an empathic listener. Um, I think that's so,
That's
so,
kind of that's what you love.
yeah.
Is what's the most challenging part of being a life
Yeah.
coach?
The most challenging is, and because I believe I'm a consummate salesperson, is selling myself. So I'm
Mhm.
used to selling, really complex solutions or products and services, but I'm not selling myself. So that's, that was the beginning very challenging. But again, I have so many experienced coaches surrounding me. a coaching community that they are really, really helpful and instrumental in showing me ways to start my business.
What gives you the greatest joy and I guess the greatest satisfaction of what you're doing?
Oh, thanks for asking. I think it's the aha moment that the client says, I know where I need to go. It's not, I told them where to go. I know where I need to go, or I know where I don't need to go, or stop doing, or start doing. It's all a process, and it's and letting them work through the process. So that gives me the greatest joy when it's like, I know what I'm going to do.
Wonderful. Yeah.
great.
Again, it's all about the relationships you're developing with people. So that's a great place to be in your life. So I believe that, I mean, I've always believed that I'm where I am because of all the people that were introduced to me along the way in my life, all the people that impacted me. So can you think of maybe one person that you think had the greatest impact on you?
Hands down. I can't wait for you to hear this. Marilyn Carlson Nelson, she was the CEO and chairman of Carlson Companies. I don't know if you've heard, of course you've heard of the brands, Radisson Hotels, TGI Fridays, Carlson Boggly Travel. Those are the types of brands. Her father, Kurt Carlson, started the company in 1938, and Kurt and Marilyn were legends in the hospitality industry, travel industry, marketing services industry around the world. And Marilyn, ahead of her time. She just empowered women in the workforce. And so many of my colleagues, especially female colleagues, were like, she is our role model. She is fantastic. And I think it's because she led with so much authenticity and grace in a challenging time. In her transition to becoming chairman and CEO, her father wanted a son to run the company.
Uh-huh.
So she challenges and wonderful man. And I learned a lot from him as well. But she led with authenticity and grace. She really expressed her empathy for our employees, and she had so much compassion for our customers. And I just can't say enough wonderful things about her. As a matter of fact, we had a celebration of many women probably 3 Decembers ago. And we all get to write in a book and show pictures. And I had a wonderful picture with Marilyn at a 70th birthday party. And it just makes my heart sing to see her again. But fun fact, Marilyn led the committee that brought the Super Bowl to Minnesota in February when everyone else said, there were so many naysayers, they can't host it in Minnesota. It's too cold.
Huh.
So she is such an incredible leader that she even overcame the weather.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, wow. That's great. That's great. Well, what about besides family, what accomplishments are you most proud of, would you say?
Yeah, I would say professionally, I'm most proud of really digging deep in a discovery process and understanding over many, many years my clients' challenges and issues and pain points, and together coming up with solutions that fit that challenge and growing their business. And while doing that, growing relationships. Some of those relationships with my clients have been long lasting from decades. So I'm very proud of that. Personally, I'm very proud of my dedication and my family's commitment to helping people with mental illness in memory of my sister who was mentally ill most of her adult life. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we have our, I think, 18th annual 5K walk here in Minneapolis. Just honoring, there's thousands of people in the state of Minnesota that to join to this walk to fundraise and to really honor and remember people like my sister.
That's great.
Yeah, it is
It's
great.
important.
It's important that we have people like you that, because of your experience, have dedicated themselves to making sure that focus continues.
Yes.
So
It's
good job there.
Thank you. It's
So-
my mom and dad's legacy, and I wanted to go on.
That's awesome. That's great.
So if we think about all the people that have impacted your life and all that you have done in your life already, is there any piece of advice that someone gave you that you think the most of all helped you to get where you are?
Yeah, I think it was whatever you choose to do, be passionate about it and just really dig in and give it your all. And along the way, there's going to be a lot, there could be some failures, and that's okay. That was hard for me. That's okay to have failures because that's how we learn and grow. I think,
Yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, I think the advice that I give to many people, when asked, of course, I never give advice unless I'm asked to give it, but I am asked often, is just really be true to yourself, be authentic, and listen to your inner voice. You know, of course, listen to others, but listen to what, you know, what your inner voice is saying to you. And also surround yourself with people that are different than you, that have
Mm.
different perspectives. In Minnesota, we have a tendency to, you know, be with our clan. And I am one of these people that has always been inclusive to everyone. And sometimes to a fault, people say, and I'm like, no, I'm an inclusive person. And I think that makes my life a lot richer.
Absolutely. So when you were hiring, at the point in your career when you were looking for salespeople, what attributes, what were you looking for when you were hiring?
Yeah, good question. Drive, ambition, um, really getting results through other people. I mean, of course,
Mm.
through yourself, but results through very results oriented. Someone that's accountable, someone that loves people, and is passionate about sales and isn't salesy, so to speak, but builds relationships.
Mhm, mhm.
There's that word passion again.
We've heard that
Yeah.
a few times.
When we talk to
Yeah,
some
it's
really good
interesting.
leaders,
Yeah,
they look for passion. The rest
absolutely.
of it, they can teach,
Yeah.
Right.
but they're really looking for the passion.
Right.
So, Janice, we've worked together, and I know how dedicated you are, and I know how hard you worked and how many hours you put in. So, can you talk a little bit about how you can achieve that balance with your well-being and the ambition and the workload? How do you balance that all?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I do a lot of goal setting, short and long-term goal setting. But I also am a big believer in time management. So I do daily and weekly planning, and I've been doing it for years. So daily the night before and adjust the next night. And then weekly every Sunday, land out the week. But then, of course, Monday hits and whoa, and which happened in Shalom quite a bit. Whoa, everything's like, we've got to get on social media. We've got, you know, news, right? So I'd have to adjust, what am I going to do tomorrow? What are my A's, B's, and C's? So time management and really shifting my priorities from not only what's urgent, what's just right in front of me, but what's important.
So the next question I was going to ask you, you may have already answered, unless there's any additional. Do you have particular habits or particular routines that you use to keep that life balance?
Yeah, I do. I do a lot of meditating. I love to walk out in nature, even if it's cold. I pray, put on a candle, and try to quiet my mind. Um, and I think just be present with myself first before being present with others.
Good. Those are wonderful things to use. So in thinking about, I want to kind of think a little bit about the healthcare world that you've been in, the educational world you've been in, and now the coaching world that you've been in. Do you have any thoughts about how do we make all those worlds a little bit more adaptable to people, a little bit easier to be team focused and customer focused? Do you know, can you think of anything that's missing or that we should definitely be doing differently?
Yeah, I think we first of all need to listen more to each other, right? And learn from each other and lean into any kind of uncertainties or adaptiveness, lean into it together by collaborating. You know, so many times we're not collaborating, you know, we think we have the solution. So I think collaboration is and teamwork is really, really key. And I think organizations need to really build trust, continue to build trust, not only in the leadership team, but all through with all employees. And by building trust, you really get to know what the talents and skills and abilities of the people around you. And if you know those, you can really use those strengths or figure out the challenges of the weaknesses together, collaborating in doing
If
so.
we could just bottle that.
Right. It sounds great.
We
Yeah.
millionaires, right? If we could bottle that, because that's always like the challenge I see when I go into communities is sometimes there's just not the ability for everyone to, and we just talked with someone this morning who said, we need to do a better job with this. And I think you're right. I think listening is the first thing, instead of already thinking about what we want to say to fix it, but really just say, listen and really hear what it is that person's trying to tell me before I jump in with the solution. So, and coaching's great at that. Coaching is great at making sure that you don't tell someone what to do, but you listen and look for them to find a way. So is there anything else you'd like to tell? I'm very interested in the life coaching and the career coaching. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about it?
Yeah, I'm doing a really, really, really special project with my niece. She is a Hollywood actress, and Brianna Brown, and she has a nonprofit called The New Hollywood, and she helps rising actors, comedians, um, and young people to really do goal setting. She does some amazing goal setting. She's got a book, Manifesting Your Mission, a guidebook out, and I've been using it for years. I think she's been doing it since many, many years. But there's a project that's near and dear to my heart, and that is she and her organization help homeless people in the LA area. And I'm coaching several homeless ladies, and it's just so rewarding. And the challenges that they've gone through, and to see them, grow and learn and come into the world, and just, they've had so many struggles. So it's just so rewarding, every conversation. So I'm just really proud. I'm very proud of Brianna, and all the work she's doing in addition to being an actress.
Excuse me, Janice, if you had to, you could give a message to your younger self, say at the beginning of your journey, what would you say to yourself?
I would say, be more patient. So
Absolutely.
I always say, when I'm impatient, I say, the only flaw I have in my personality is impatience, but it has served me well in my sales career, because I'm go-getter and want results. And but I would say, for me, just be more patient with yourself and with others that you surround yourself with. So patience.
Interesting. We heard that
Again.
Yeah, interesting. I think we can all relate to that. We tend to want to skip the steps in every aspect of our life, and we can't. We just have to be patient. But boy, I think I'll work on that one too. That would probably be even my older self, I think I would give that advice to. Yes, just be more patient. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that the people that, I mean, interesting that the people that we have on our podcast are all successful, well organized, good thought thinkers, and almost all of them say the message they would give their younger self is to be patient. It's going to happen. Just be patient, because we're all like, we want to go and get it done, so that's great advice. Yeah. Janice, this has been wonderful. You are a real insight for us.
Yes.
I think our listeners will be thrilled to listen to this, and hopefully they take away some of the key points that you've given us today. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you both as well. So wonderful to see you.
Yes, wonderful to see you too.
All right. Talk to you later.
Janice.
Well, that does it. We hope that you liked it. If you did, please share it with everyone, put it on your Facebook page, subscribe to our newsletter, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.